We move on now to our second main story this Monday. Now, the heads of state of the Great Lakes region will meet today in Kampala, Uganda, under the auspices of the United Nations. The goal, according to the Special Envoy of the Secretary General of the UN in the region, Saïd Djinnit, is to offer a unique platform to discuss the underlying problems confronting the region.
C'est exact, Jerry, et ces problèmes.
That's right, Jerry, and there are many fundamental issues that need to be addressed. These include the electoral calendar, the DRC, and the presidential election scheduled for 23 December in the country, not to mention the issue of voluntary repatriation announced by armed groups.
With us now is Erman. We have an interview, actually. It's not. We have no one with us, actually. But for our correspondent, Erman did speak with Mr. Saïd Djinnit in New York. That's the UN Special Envoy for the UN Secretary General for the Great Lakes region. And first off, he asked him about the volatile security situation in the Great Lakes region and what he made of the efforts aimed at dismantling armed groups in the region.
The heads of state at the last summit of the Regional Monitoring Mechanism in Brazzaville last year in October asked us to guarantee the framework agreement with the countries in the region that are directly concerned, namely Rwanda, DRC and Uganda, to set up a monitoring mechanism to try repatriate all former combatants. Whether they are ex-M23 or ex-FDLR, who have disarmed themselves now, who have been in transit camps in the DRC since 2015. We have put in place the monitoring mechanism process. To date, we have succeeded in repatriating more than 40 ex-combatants, both M23 and FDLR. Most of them are M23. This is far from the target, but this exercise has shown that when there is determination and a willingness to collaborate, there are results. We intend to continue the effort. And we hope that we will try to learn from some of our shortcomings identified in the process so that in future more people will agree to repatriate voluntarily and in conditions of safety and dignity provided by guarantors of Addis Ababa Framework Agreement.
Alors, il faut savoir qu'il y a eu plusieurs accords.
And of course, you have to know that there have been several agreements, several commitments for peace, but nothing actually changes on the ground. The question arises as to the usefulness of this new meeting of key actors in the region. And this, Irene Herman asked him. So look, first, the meeting depends on participation. If the heads of state, especially those who have important issues to resolve, such as the countries at the heart of the Great Lakes, namely the DRC, Rwanda, Burundi and Uganda, which obviously host the summit, will be there. If these countries participate in this meeting with other countries in the region, we hope that there will be a real debate, a frank debate between the heads of the state behind closed doors to discuss the substantive issues that divide them. We want to create this unique opportunity for a frank discussion between the heads of state, even if it is behind closed doors, and really to solve the problems. Because the issue is in the people's hands, we want a real answer.
Mr. Djinnit also lamented about the fragile peace situation in the Great region.
This is certainly unacceptable because the region has made progress since the 1990s and the end of the 1990s, when there were tragic conflicts in the country. We must not forget the path taken by this region, which has experienced 2 successive wars in Congo, a very long crisis in Burundi, and above all, genocide in Rwanda. It should be noted that until recently, the region was dislocated and warring completely within the region between the states of the region. Today, it is more peaceful. It should be noted, of course, that it has been a significant process. There are questions that remain, and that is why it's still unfortunate that we want to address the problems of mistrust, and that still remains. And once again, it's linked to the question of negative forces, where everyone suspects the other of wanting to manipulate someone else. So there is this climate of mistrust that remains, and we want to play the role of facilitator, and that is a real debate, a real discussion to overcome the mistrust.
And in light of the upcoming presidential elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is scheduled for December, the UN Special Envoy shared some of his thoughts about the importance of that election and how DRC must get it right.
So
this is the objective of everyone, I believe, that Congo first, of course, wants to trust the authorities and, of course, the Electoral Commission, CENI. But this is the main objective of the 31 December agreement signed by all Congolese parties and on which the entire international community and the countries of the region and the African Union and the United Nations are mobilized. We are all in support of all Congolese stakeholders to implement the conditions for a free, transparent, inclusive and credible election. Because this is at this cost of this inclusive and credible election that the DRC will emerge from the rut, because we wish, as indeed is the most cherished wish of all Congolese, that these elections be part of the solution and that Congo fall back on its 2 feet fully so that it's addressed and the real problems of development and security and stability are dealt with. With the enormous potential that the DRC has, it's important that stability prevails and that there is strong legitimacy through elections held in good conditions. We wish and encourage all parties to respect all the conditions provided for in the election register. And the question, of course, of voting machines is, of course, as you understand, all these measures were provided for in the agreement of 31 December. And we encourage all stakeholders to put in place all these conditions so that elections are part of the solution for the DRC.